I told you that you're leaving money on the table with every email campaign that you send. Now, most brands send out an email campaign and then immediately start planning for the next one. Now, even if you have an open rate of 50%, that means half your list is never going to see your email. So then they start constantly building out more and more emails to stay at the top of the customer's inbox. Now, today I'm going to be showing you 2 strategies that we use every single day for our 7 and 8-figure e-com clients to help you squeeze more revenue from the emails that you've already sent. So this is going to be without any extra work, without annoying your subscribers, and without building any more emails. So just to be clear, these are not strategies that you're going to find on any other YouTube video. These are real strategies that we're using every day for our 7 and 8-figure e-com clients. So stick around, I guarantee you're going to learn something. Okay, so before we begin, I think it's important to have a bit of a reality check. Now, we know that email is very, very profitable and it's very powerful because we have direct access to our audience in a way that no other platform or marketing channel really lets us do. Now, that being said, most email campaigns still only reach a fraction of their total potential. Now, if you think about it, most brands send out email campaigns that get between 30 to 40% open rates. But what does that actually mean? That means 60 to 70% of your audience never saw your email. That's a huge chunk of your audience that was probably interested in email, but life just happened and they never saw it. Now combine that with how competitive email marketing is these days with e-com brands sending emails to their audience all the time. So you're also competing to stay at the top of your inbox with other brands that are also sending emails to your same customer base. So it's really important to understand that we're constantly trying to fight to stay to the top of the inbox. That 60 to 70% of people that don't open your email doesn't mean that they're not interested in email. Most of the time, they just didn't see it. So what can we actually do about this? Now, every email that you send takes time to build and it costs you money to build. Now, whether you're building out your emails yourself or you have a team to do those emails for you, whatever that might be, that time is still going to translate into money. So regardless of what you do, there needs to be a better way that you can get the absolute most out of every single email that you send. Now, the solution isn't just send more emails. That's a really inefficient solution. So the solution isn't just going to be sending more emails. What we actually need to figure out is how can you get more from every email that you send? Because adding more emails is fine, but it's just going to cost you more and more time and money every time you're increasing the amount of emails that you send per week. Sometimes it's a good solution, but it's not the best solution if you're not making the most out of the emails that you're currently sending anyway. So you might be wondering, what do we do? Now, what we actually do is this is a strategy that we use for most of our clients. Now, this strategy is actually quite different to what you'll find on most other videos. I'm going to be going through exactly why this is different and why this strategy works better. But essentially what we want to do is resending our emails to either those who haven't opened them or resending emails to a segment called the Espresso shot segment. So what we actually do is both of these strategies simultaneously, and I'm going to show you exactly what we do. All right, so let's start with resending emails to non-openers. Now, you might have heard about this strategy before. It's been around for some time, but the way that most brands do it is kind of outdated and it's really not the best way to go about it. Now, the way that most brands do it is on the weekend, they'll resend the winning email to anyone who didn't open it. So basically that means, let's say you sent an email on Tuesday and Thursday, then what they'll do is, let's say Tuesday's email got the best performance. So on the weekend, they'll just resend that email to anyone who didn't open it. Now, the key point is that the segment that they're sending it to is any non-openers. Now, out of that 60 or 70% of non-openers, the reality is that there is going to be a huge chunk of those people who are generally just unengaged. They're not that close to the purchase window. Maybe they've purchased before. Maybe they're just not ready to buy just yet. So you don't want to resend that email to everyone because there's going to be people within that segment that haven't opened any emails in the last 90 days. So it's very unlikely that they're going to open this one. So because that engagement level is so low, it's really hard to scale. You can really only be doing that strategy just once a week. You can't really do it to every single email campaign that you send out. And that's pretty unscalable. Now, instead of doing that, our strategy is actually quite different. So instead of sending emails to the entire non-openers list, we actually only send the email to anyone who didn't open that email in the last 48 hours and if they've engaged with that emails in the last 30 days. So this means we're actually only sending emails to people who are highly engaged and exactly 48 hours after that campaign first went out. And we can then do this on every email that goes out because the engagement level is going to be way higher. So your audience is going to be way more engaged, way more close to that purchase decision because they've been opening and clicking emails in the last 30 days. But those are going to be the people that most likely just missed your last email. So the key difference between the old strategy and our strategy is instead of just doing it once a week, we actually resend every email campaign exactly 48 hours after it was originally sent to anyone who didn't open but have engaged with our emails within the last 30 days. Now, you might be wondering, should I just resend the same email? Isn't that annoying? The answer is no. Given how many emails your subscribers get on a daily basis, it's very likely that they just missed your original email. So if they've engaged with you recently, especially in the last 30 days, it's very likely that they are within that purchase window and they want to be receiving your emails. So again, you want to pay very close attention to your unsubscribed, spam, open rate, click rate, and you can make adjustments on the fly. Adjustments that you can make is, if your engagement level is low, you can change that 30 days engaged to 14 days engaged. If your engagement is actually very positive, you notice that a lot of people are opening and clicking and purchasing, you can increase that engagement window up to 60 days. You can basically start doing this once a week and then increase that to 2, and then basically you can just start doing that for every single email campaign that you send out. Instead of just doing it once a week, you can do it for every email that you send. So now I'm going to be showing you exactly how we set this up on Klaviyo. So I'm just going to play this video for you guys. All right, so here's how we set up an email campaign that automatically resends that email to anyone who doesn't open it. So for example, let's say tomorrow is Tuesday and every Tuesday we send an email campaign and we want that email to be resent to anyone who doesn't open it within the first 48 hours of receiving it. So this is actually all done within the first initial setup of the campaign, and I'll show you exactly how we do it. So let's say this is tomorrow's email. So we've set up a campaign. This is going to go to our main email newsletter list. So obviously select your main newsletter list here, click next, build the email exactly how you're planning the campaign to look. So obviously you're going to click edit, you're going to add all your content that you are planning to have, and then you add your main subject line. So this is going to be the subject line of the email that goes to everyone. So let's say the email is about bestsellers. So it's going to be check out our best sellers. This is just like an example, but let's just say that's going to be the subject line. You're obviously going to add your preview text and any of the other fields that you need to add. Then you click next. And now what we're going to do is where it says add a follow-up email, we're going to click this. So make sure this is checked. And what you want to do is change the subject line. So the other email is check out our best sellers. And then this one I can say, these are our best sellers for a reason. So whatever you want the other subject line to be. So now what's going to happen is your first email is going to get sent to your newsletter list, right? And if anyone doesn't open it, say in the first 48 hours, so you can of course adjust this. You can make it 24 hours, you can make it 72 hours, you can do whatever you want. But let's just do 48 hours to keep things simple. And then we're going to resend it to anyone who's engaged in the last 30 days. So by default, this one's going to be checked, and this is how I actually like to keep it. So now what's going to happen is it's pretty much ready to go. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to click schedule. This isn't a real Klaviyo account, so I can't actually schedule this to go to anyone. So that's pretty much it. So just make sure you change this subject line. That's the most important thing. And then you can play around with this time delay, and you can also play around with this engagement level. But I think this is probably the best place to start, and then you can test and then optimize. That's literally it. So you just schedule the email and then it's automatically going to get sent to anyone that doesn't open, but the most engaged group. The next thing that we like to do is resending emails to the Espresso shot segment. So first of all, what is the Espresso shot? So it's anyone who's opened or clicked an email within the last 72 hours, but didn't place an order. This is a highly motivated segment, which usually doesn't need too much of a push to get them to place an order. So the way that most brands do it, similar to the last strategy, is that they resend the winning email of the week to the Espresso shot segment on the weekend. So what I mean by that is, let's say, again, you send an email on Tuesday and an email on Thursday. Let's say Tuesday's email got the best performance. Then what brands do is on the weekend, they'll just resend that Tuesday's email to the Espresso shot segment. Now, the problem with this strategy is that these are very engaged subscribers. So it's very likely that they already saw that original email in the week, resulting in a negative experience for the subscriber because they probably opened the email on Tuesday, they probably saw it, but again, they didn't place an order. Now, on the weekend, if they get another email and it's the exact same email, that gentle reminder still does do its job. You will get sales, but it comes at the expense of the customer experience. There's definitely a better way to go about this. Now, instead of that, the way that we do it is we still resend the winning email of the week, except we do it from this time last month. So basically, if this is week 1 of April, then we're going to resend the winning email of week 1 of March. So pretty much what that means is instead of an email that just got sent a couple days ago and we're resending it on the weekend, we're actually resending an email that performed really well, but it was a month ago, meaning that most people are probably not going to remember. Now, you could even expand that to 2 or 3 months ago as well, and you can kind of just keep working week by week and picking the best email that performed during that week. Now, again, the way that we do is we're going to change the subject line, we're going to change the preview text, and we keep everything the same. We resend an email every single weekend on a day that we wouldn't have sent an email anyway. Now, this pretty much results in extra sales every single weekend just because of this strategy. Now, the reason that this works is because we're working with emails that have already performed well in the past. We know these emails perform well, and we're sending it to an audience that is highly, highly motivated, with a very low chance that the subscriber is going to remember that email from 1 or 3 months ago. Now, it goes without saying, don't resend an email that was time sensitive, so something that was like a sale or a product launch or anything that doesn't make sense to be sending it a month or 2 months later. Now, it has to be an evergreen type of email, but every single week, typically you're going to have some sort of email that performed really well that you can resend this time around. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up that segment on Klaviyo. So once you set up that segment, all you really need to do is go through your campaigns, see this time last month which email performed well during that week, and then duplicate it and then send it to your Espresso Shot segment. Very, very simple stuff. All right, so this is how we set up the Espresso Shot segment. So you're going to go to segments on the left and click create new, create segment. And we'll call this Espresso Shot. And what we're going to do is, I'll just move myself a little further up. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what someone has or has not done. Opened email in the last 72 hours. Or what someone has or has not done. And then this one's going to be clicked email in the last 72 hours. And then we're going to do and what someone has or has not done. This is going to be placed order 0 times. Again in the last 72 hours. And that's it. So you create the segment and then you just add this to your campaign. So just to wrap things up, let me show you what this looks like in practice. Now, we actually implement both of these strategies simultaneously. We don't pick one or the other. We do both of these at the exact same time, and this is what it looks like. So, for example, this is what a brand looks like that's not running any of these strategies. Let's say they just sent an email on Monday and then an email on Thursday. This is what it should look like after using this strategy. So let's say you sent an email on Monday. 48 hours later, if there are certain people that didn't open that email, you're going to resend that email to non-openers but engaged 30 days. So anyone who's opened or clicked any emails in the last 30 days but just missed Monday's one, resend that to them automatically. Then next day, we're going to send out Thursday's email. Same story on Saturday, 48 hours after that. If anyone missed this one and they're engaged, then we're going to resend on Saturday. Then on Sunday, what we're going to do is resend the best performing email of this week last month and send that to the Espresso Shot segment. So what we're able to achieve now is we're sending 3 more emails on days that you weren't planning to send anything. We're sending emails to highly motivated subscribers. We're not just sending it to everyone because that is going to destroy your deliverability. And the key thing here is we are sending all these emails without adding any extra time on building brand new emails, coming up with new ideas. You're making the most of what you already have available. Now, of course, you can add more campaigns throughout the week. You can add one on Tuesday and Friday. You can kind of keep adding emails if you like, but this is what you need to be doing to be making sure you are squeezing every single drop of revenue out of every email that you send out. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for making it this far. I hope this video was valuable for you. Now, if you do run a 7 or 8 figure ecom brand and you want someone to just implement this entire strategy completely done for you, then book in a call using that first link in the description below. You can talk to me directly and I'll show you exactly how we do this for all of our clients. So yeah, thank you so much for making it this far. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.